Opinions about the War of 1812. The War of 1812 was very unpopular among Federalists in the Northeast. They felt that England could not be beaten. They weren't really confident that the United States could beat England if they went to war with them. They felt engaging in a war would damage U.S. business. They didn't think it would help economically. They thought it would hurt the United States business. And they felt that Napoleon was not a very favorable ally. So if they went to war against Britain, they would be siding with France, led by Napoleon, and they did not feel like he was a very favorable ally to have. Now the conservative members of Madison's party, the Democratic Republicans, and this conservative group was known as the Tertium Quids. They opposed the War of 1812 as well. So you've got the Federalist and the conservative members of the Democratic Republican Party on the same side here. They both are opposing the War of 1812. Now, the Tertium Quids believed that this war would be too expensive. They thought it would cost the United States too much money. They thought that it would result in the perpetuation of a standing army. And a standing army is also going to be expensive because you have to pay to feed and house and clothe those soldiers that you have waiting in a standing army. They felt that it would damage America economically. So they kind of agreed with the idea that it would damage American business. They thought it would hurt America economically. And they felt that it would lead to the acquisition of Canada as a slave state. So they felt like if they went to war and won, they would acquire the land known as Canada as a slave state, and the Tertium Quids didn't want any more slave states. Now, there were a lot of negative opinions about the War of 1812. There were a lot of people who had a lot of reasons not to go to war. But these critics were opposed in Congress by the Warhawks. And the Warhawks were a group so called by the Federalists to imply that they were picking a fight. So this isn't the name they chose for themselves. The Federalists called them Warhawks to imply that they were picking a fight, that they were looking to start this war. But the Warhawks mainly represented the Southwest and the West. So a different region had a different outlook on things. And they included such prominent figures as Henry Clay, John C. Calhoun, and Felix Grundy. Now, the Warhawks supported the war because they thought it would bolster foreign trade. So they thought if they got involved in this war, it would help foreign trade. So they'd be allies with France. That would help foreign trade. And if they got things all sorted out with Britain, that would help foreign trade there as well. It wouldn't be so great during the war, but looking past the war, it could help foreign trade. They also thought that it would discourage the British from inciting the Native Americans along the frontier. This was a big problem that they had steadily had with Britain since the Revolutionary War. They would help certain Native American tribes against the United States along the frontier. So they felt like this war would help deter this from happening anymore. And they felt that it could result in land gain. So this group, the people who were pro-War of 1812, were okay with having the land gain. They didn't really care if it was going to be a slave state or not. They liked the idea that the United States would gain some more land. So there were a lot of opinions about the War of 1812, some positive, some negative, but in the end, the United States did choose to side with France and fight against Britain in the War of 1812.
To find out more about how to ace your test and get more practice for your test, click the study guide. Learn why Mometrix is the best and smartest decision you could make for your test prep choice. We have done all the work cutting through the fluff to give you what you need to perform well on your exam. Click the study guide to get started now. And thank you for watching and learning with us.